Okay, we're live. Welcome back to episode 23 of the CosCast. Woohoo! This episode will be about cosplay and gender bending, which is a very exciting subject. And we have dressed up slightly for the occasion. I am sporting a female Fenris from Dragon Age 2 specifically, in honor of JC's excellent Fenris gender bend that she did at Toricon, where she was Fenrisa. And yeah, my co-host Annabella is sporting, well, you can explain what you're sporting.
Well, if it isn't obvious enough, I am Harriet Potter. With I can see a little bit of my blonde hair shining through here, but yeah.
Going, oh
shit.
And also sporting her fabulous geeky t-shirt with Link.
Yes, Link. And with my Link teacup.
So there's a theme. Well, as usual, I am your main host. My name is Pixie Dust Cosplay. And my two co-hosts are, as usual,
Annabella Cosplay, as mentioned already.
And Anyasia Cosplay.
Yes, it's just nice to have the formalities out of the way. Now, as I said, the main topic for this tonight is gender bends, but before that we will jump to our usual segments, which is cosplay progress. Now, have any of you made some progress on your cosplays this week?
No, I had an extremely busy week, but I got these Lord of the Rings inspired costume patterns in the mail, so now I'm gonna start on my costume for Arthicon, which I am really excited about because I already have the fabric. This week I've been extremely busy with work, and I've been on a stand-up comedian thing, and I've been at a concert, and I've been biking and all this stuff.
I'm hearing something in the background. Is that from Anyasia or from you, Annabella?
I think it might be from me. It's my boyfriend talking to his friends.
Okay, just clearing that up. Okay, how about you, Anyasia? You've been on kind of a cosplay vacation as of late.
Yeah, I'm still on that vacation, I'm afraid.
But that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
it's quite hard to find the motivation to start, I think, really.
Yeah, unless you find a project that you're like really excited about, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've been planning lots of cosplays lately. Like, I know a lot of them that I want to do this year or next year. It's just a matter of waiting until we move so I can start doing them. Then I'll be in like a cosplay frenzy, I think.
Yeah.
Because I like, my fingers are literally itching to start cosplaying again, but I can't because it's all packed down. Because we have to keep the apartment neat for, people who are coming to see it. So yeah, boring.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our next segment then. Cosplay news, or news in general, for people who are interested in cosplay. I have one tidbit, and that is that Disney recently announced that they will be making a new movie, and it will feature their first Polynesian princess. And her name is going to be Moana, which is also going to be the title of the movie, I think. So that's kind of cool.
And also with that movie, the same actor who plays Brienne of Tarth is going to be a female stormtrooper in a whole body kind of normal stormtrooper armor. And that is also quite awesome. And I know that the Star Wars people responded because some guy were like, "Oh my god, a female stormtrooper! I cannot see her shapes and boobs and stuff like that." But, she's wearing an armor and she's gonna stay alive, so...
No boobs for you, sorry.
Wear a bikini to battle, that's just how it is. No, but that doesn't bother me. What bothers me, though, when it comes to Star Wars lore, is that all the stormtroopers are supposed to be clones of Jango Fett.
Yeah.
And so they are all inherently male, so I'm curious how they're going to try to explain her being a stormtrooper, but I'm
She's
sure
not
they've
really.
taken account of that.
I don't think she's a normal
No.
stormtrooper. She's just like a general of some sort. So, and
Right.
she's wearing some kind of different armor. So I guess it's kind of different since she's, different.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll have an explanation or a reason for putting her where she is. Yes.
I'm really excited about that though.
Yes, it's really cool. I like it. It's awesome that they're putting more female characters in charge in the Star Wars movie.
In normal armor.
Normal armor, yes, that is very important. Yeah. Beyond that, I don't really have that much cosplay news. I don't think there's that much going on, but I think is it BunzaiCon or KawaiiCon?
I do have a few things
Yeah.
I want to just say for this segment, and one of the things is that I've been trying out the Cosplay Amino app a little bit more, and I've actually found out that the only thing that I find it useful for is that you get this news feed, and it's a news feed with not only the people you follow, but like a news feed of just every recent popular thing, and it kind of makes it easy to find, tutorials and do-it-yourself videos, and tips and tricks and stuff that people do, and like how they made stuff, and it's really easy to find, just cosplay news there.
Oh, very cool. So at least we know one thing that app is worth having.
Yeah, so it's like a Facebook wall only with cosplay related stuff.
And isn't that just a lot of geeky goodness?
It is. The other thing I wanted to talk about is that or at least I talked a little bit about the Retro Game Fair and KawaiiCon last CosCast, and now I have figured out why the Retro Game cosplay competition was cancelled. And the reason for that is that the Retro Game Fair is kind of in a collaboration with BunzaiCon, which is one of Norway's biggest cons. They do obviously have a lot of people that they know and a lot of, money and stuff like that. So when BunzaiCon does something, it will be awesome and great. KawaiiCon is like one of those smaller conventions, and since both of them were happening the same weekend, and the cosplay competition for the Retro Game Fair had like amazingly awesome out of the world prizes, it kind of stole a little bit of the attention from KawaiiCon. And if we want, the Norwegian conventions to stay and return for the next year, we have to make room for the smaller conventions too. So BunzaiCon, which is like the big brother of conventions here in Norway, kind of stepped down a bit and let KawaiiCon come to the stage and shine through and be like the main cosplay convention for this weekend, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No,
And since the Retro Game Fair is mainly, for retro games, and the cosplay thing is just to attract more people, but if that makes KawaiiCon a little bit smaller, it might hurt them for next year or stuff like that.
I get it. So it was a nice thing that they did for KawaiiCon.
Yes, it was.
Well, that's good to know. I mean, I was a little bit curious about why they chose to cancel.
Yeah, I was a little bit curious about that too, and a little bit annoyed because the competition for the Retro Game Fair was supposed to be today on Sunday, and for KawaiiCon was on Saturday, so I didn't really understand why they kind of crashed. But Danarki, one of the most like famous Norwegian cosplay photographers, wrote a really nice article about this on his blog.
Yeah, I saw that one too. I read it. It was well written, although I'm not really that into all the mechanics in between those different cons, but it's nice to know.
Yeah, and it's nice that they stepped down, especially since it's like just 30-minute drive between those two conventions. So
yeah. No, I get it. Okay. Did you have anything more you wanted to say news-wise, or was that it?
I think that was quite enough.
Okay, good. Then let's move on to the main topic of the night, which is genderbend cosplay.
Yeah.
So I thought we could start with kind of explaining what genderbend is, because I think it's very easy to mistake it for crossplay.
Yeah, it is.
And the difference between genderbends and crossplay is that a genderbend is taking a character that is one sex and cosplaying it as another sex. Let's say you take Link from The Legend of Zelda, who is a male character, and you cosplay him as if he were a girl. So you give him boobs and a skirt or something like that.
Yes.
Or the other way around with a female character, which you turn into a male character. Whereas crossplay is you cosplay a character that is the opposite sex of what you are. So if you're a girl and you cosplay, let's say, Keely from The Hobbit, that's crossplay.
Yes.
Yeah, it seems like genderbends and crossplays are gaining more and more popularity as of late. They keep popping up at cons everywhere. I saw a Harriet Potter at Toricon actually. So
yeah, I think it's quite fun, and also I've like seen a lot of people. It's not always easy, the people who cosplay manga or anime characters. It's not really easy to know if it's a girl or a boy cosplaying, and I think that's quite fun because you don't really care about the sex of that person.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really irrelevant when it comes to cosplay.
Yes, it is, because the whole point is to have fun, really. And now genderbend cosplays or fan art or whatever can also be called, or it could be said to go under what is known as Rule 63, which is an internet rule which says that for every male character there is an equivalent female version of that character or vice versa. So sometimes genderbends can be referred to as Rule 63 Fenris, for example, which is what I'm doing, like a female Fenris version.
That's quite nice.
So sometimes that'll crop up, and in the beginning I was like, Rule 63, what's that? And so I had to research, and I get it.
Makes sense now. I can like be into this intern thing.
Yeah. I know something. I know something about the internet. Which is that it's not about porn.
Or is it? Or is it?
No, we will never know. Okay. So I thought that we could show some good examples of what genderbend cosplays is, and also genderbends that I think are done right, I guess, or really well. So I'll just put on some slides for you guys, and we can discuss the pictures. And I thought I would start with a character we know very well, which is JC and her Fenrissa cosplay from Toricon. Just because I think it's a very well done cosplay, and it looks female, it's very feminine, but it's not very over the top. Oh, look at me, I'm sexy kind of feminine.
No, it's not, and I also find it, because Fenris is such like a kind of sexy character, so I find it really fun that the stockings that JC is wearing, because it kind of brings this sultry feeling that Fenris has to a girl version as well.
Yeah, he's sultry and brooding, so it's a bit of sex appeal that Fenris has, because he does have that. He's not the male I've drooled over. Let's be honest. And JC does a really good Fenris version, so mine is obviously an homage to JC's Fenrissa closet version. The next one is this one. What was the name of this guy? That's Dakun cosplay as Elsa, a male version of Elsa, which I thought was really cool because he's made it really male, and yes, it's a little bit sexy with the bare chest and everything, but it's not over the top either.
No, it's not. It's really cool. It's like because if you think about it, Elsa has this dress with like a foot on the side or something, isn't it? You can't really wear that as a boy, so you have to
No, you
put that somewhere else. And I find that really, really clever because sometimes when it comes to gender bent cosplays, you really have to pay attention to details, and I think he kind of did that.
For sure. I completely agree. Let's move on. This one is a female Captain America, which I thought was really good too. This is the Dangerous Ladies cosplay group. By and the picture I think is by J.J.A. Barrett. And I thought this was really cool because it's not, super sexy. There's not a lot of cleavage or, skin showing through. And this is something we'll talk a little bit about later.
Yes.
But we're not going to focus too heavily on it right now. But I thought it was really well made.
Yeah, I think so too. And what I do like about it is that it kind of it's similar to the original Captain America. It's like the same suit, only fitted for a woman.
Yeah,
but it's still like it's the same suit.
Yeah, I mean, Steven could wear that just as well as, I don't know what her name would be.
Priscilla.
Priscilla. Okay, Priscilla Rogers. But it's a really great, version of how female gender bends are done really well.
The hair is also amazing on that.
Yeah.
That one is my favorite. I love
Yes.
her.
This is a really awesome cosplay. This is Ellie Renee, and she is cosplaying a genderbend Ganondorf from Zelda. And I have to say, I'm really impressed with this, how she's tweaked the armor and made it more feminine. Although I'm never much of a fan of armor that shows, naked waist, because that's not really armor to me. That's mostly decoration.
Yeah.
But I think she did a superb job of this.
Yeah, well, it's all right because Ganondorf is more of a sorcerer than actual fighter, so it's okay.
That's true.
And it's like Ganondorf to me is like this powerful guy who is more about the bling and the show, and this kind of just the show.
Yeah, I get it. I guess it's forgivable. I mean, I'm not opposed to, bare waists, but it's just sometimes it ticks me off when it's done unnecessarily. But in this one, it works.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, let's move on. This, I think, is really cool. This is a female Hellboy, so she would be Hellgirl, I guess.
Yeah.
And I just think it's really well done with the arm and the horns and yeah, and I don't mind that there's a bare midriff here because it's not armor, it's just a tank top and a pair of pants, and it's not overly feminine or overly sexy, it's just what a girl would wear, probably.
Yep.
Yeah, and tank tops with the bare stomach is fashion now.
Yeah, it's very fashionable at the moment. I've seen it. So yeah, and who was this again? I'm just going to make sure that they all get credited.
Gabby Lou?
Yes, this is Gabby Lou cosplay. And I think this is Lorento So Photography. I think that's what it says. Okay, moving on. These, I think, are super adorable. These are an all-male Sailor Scouts cosplay group. And oh my god, it's so cute. And these are Ichigo Twins Cosplay Sailor Scouts.
They are cute.
Yeah. And if anyone out there has not seen this show, this is from Sailor Moon, a really old, very popular Japanese anime about girls who get superpowers and wear sailor uniforms. This is the gender-bent version.
Yeah, what I find kind of funny, though, is like the girls in Sailor Moon are, extremely, skimpy.
Yes.
But these guys are not.
No, they're not, because they're wearing pants.
Yeah.
Not miniskirts.
but they could have worn shorts, though.
They could. Although, I don't know, shorts on men, at least tight shorts, but that's just personal.
It's fashion.
Everything is fashion.
I think they're still showing a lot of skin because, all their arms are very bare, and so it kind of weighs up for the fact that the girls show a lot of skin on the legs, that they show a lot of skin on the arms. I think it's very adorable and a fun interpretation in general. I kind of like it.
They matches really well.
Yeah. This one, I think, also is super cool. This
Yes.
is a male Pocahontas by Johnny Junker, is his name.
I also find this really, really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really mind that he kind of doesn't wear anything, because it's like it fits the character.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
because
well,
that's what a Native American probably would wear.
Yeah, and it's kind of like Coco.
Yes.
Yeah. He was only wearing a toga as well, so.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is true. So, and to me, this is not overly sexualized. That he's not posing to trying to be sexy necessarily. It looks like he's been, caught by surprise in a moment, sort of thing.
And also, that's what the costume is supposed to look like. It's not made to. Yeah.
It's not like he put on a pair of panties and a corset or something.
Yeah.
If you were a woman, that would be the appropriate simile. Moving on. This is also very cool. This is a male version of Vi from League of Legends. She's a female originally in the game, of course.
What?
Since this is a gender bend. But I thought it was a really cool version. This is by a guy named Ryan Brandt. And yeah, I just thought it was a very, very funky, cool version of Vi. Even though she doesn't have a bare chest or anything, she's very covered up. At least in this classic skin design. I like the punkish vibe this one is giving off, because Vi also has that punkish thing going for her.
Yeah.
And the last example is this one. It's the female Data from Star Trek by Strange
awesome.
Like That Cosplay. And I just thought this is really cool because it's not over-sexualized. It's just straight up a Star Trek uniform, and yeah, I thought it was very cool.
Nothing sexy about it.
What I find is cool about this one is that you all know what the female characters from Star Trek looks like on the show. They have like extremely short skirts. And this one doesn't. She just went like, no, I'm just doing the same thing, only female. So I find that really cool.
Yeah, because Data is kind of, I don't want to say asexual, but he kind of is. And he's not a very, in general, sexy character, a character that's really concerned with how he looks, I think. So it's very appropriate for the character.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was a slide of awesome genderbend cosplays that we have seen and like on the internet and in real life.
And it's extremely many more.
Oh yeah, there are tons. I mean, and lists everywhere of awesome genderbend cosplays that you can look at for inspiration, or if you just want to watch some cool cosplays. For sure.
Oh, sure.
So next on my schedule is the rules of gender bending. I mean, cosplay in general doesn't really have any rules, but let's discuss this anyway. We got a question in from JC Cosplay, who's a friend of the CosCast. And she wrote that she was wondering if we could discuss where the lines of gender bend goes, because she feels, and I agree, that a lot of gender bend cosplays, at least when cosplayers turn male characters into females, that they go over the top sexy, like pin-up-ish, or showing a lot of boobs, a lot of ass or thighs or whatever, and just sexying up the character a lot. When I don't mind if people want to do that, sure, but I don't really see that as a necessarily correct representation of the character if it's a character that isn't necessarily, very sexy or has a very sex-based personality, I guess. So we can talk a little bit about that.
I think that you find this in cosplay in general. People who just over-sexualize characters, not because they want to be that character 100%, but I cannot say that they don't love the character less just because they do it a little bit differently.
No, of course not.
It's a hard topic to discuss, really.
Well, yes, because it's all very, very subjective, of course, and it's up to each individual how comfortable they feel about their body and the amount of clothing that they wear. But for me, if I was going to do a female version of a character, I would try to make that character look as close to the original as possible, make as few changes to it as possible, just try to accommodate for the fact that I was making it for a female body and not a male body. That's pretty much what I would try to do, I think.
Yeah.
I do agree on that, but then again, you can, like people do with normal cosplay, they sometimes have a different theme to their characters. Like, I've seen people do, you know, pin-up versions or 50s versions of, like,
That's
Disney
cool.
princesses and stuff like that, and you can also do that in Genderbend. So, even though you kind of change it a little bit around, it's still a cosplay, but...
Of course, it's still a cosplay no matter which direction you choose to take it in, but I think if you're going to do a pin-up version, then I think you need to be very clear about the fact that, okay, I'm doing a pin-up gender bend, then a straight-up classic gender bend.
Yes.
If you understand what I mean.
Of course I do.
It's a lot about labeling for me, because as long as you're upfront about what you're doing, or at least aware of what you're doing, that you're not just sexifying it without really thinking about it.
Yes.
That's when it becomes problematic for me.
I do agree. You know, there's a difference between a playland for children and a strip club, and you should not, you know, you should still think about that when you go to conventions, because there are kids there, there are a lot of people there, and yeah, you know, you should just use common sense. I
mean, it's a touchy subject, and I'm not a prude by any measure, but there are some things that I think fall in between the lines of what is decent or not. At least some characters are just sexy. They're designed sexy. They're meant to be sexy. Like, for example, Dante from Devil May Cry. He's a very sexy character. Even if he's male or female, it doesn't matter. That's just how he is. Because there's a lot of skin and a lot of bare chest, and they play on the whole sexy vibe a lot in the games. Whereas other characters that, like, let's say Yuna in Final Fantasy X, is not a very sexy character. She's very sweet and innocent and a little bit naive, but also very determined to reach her goals. And if you were to gender bend her or cosplay her in an overly sexified way, me as a fan of Final Fantasy X wouldn't really appreciate that or understand the need to go there, personally.
Yes, I agree.
So it's all about looking at the character and their personalities and thinking, okay, well, why would I want to sexify this character? Do I have a reason, or do I just want to be sexy and show off, sort of, I guess?
Some people like that attention.
Yeah, of course. People are different. But I think as a cosplayer, you get attention anyway, don't you? At least I feel like I do, even though even though I'm not up there, I'm not a very famous or well-known cosplayer by any measure, but I still feel like I get a lot of attention when I'm in cosplay compared to what I would as just me.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
But I think this discussion also is like, it goes far beyond Genderbend, yes. And people can talk about it all they want, and never ever, agree on it. But I think we three do agree in what we...
Well, yes, we agree. But, and of course people are free to disagree with us, because we're not saying that this is how it is. People shouldn't do this or shouldn't do that. It's just that it's an interesting subject to discuss, because for some people they might actually be offended if you do an over-sexified version of a character that they care about, because it makes them feel like, well, don't you know this character at all? Why did you choose to cosplay her if you've chosen to completely disregard her personality? Like if someone cosplayed Yuna as super, super sexy. I would kind of feel like, why did you choose her? Why don't you choose another character if you want to be very sexy? That kind of thing. It just makes you question choices, I guess.
Yeah, I think that lot of times, maybe some reason that many female cosplayers choose to sexify or over-sexify gender bend characters is that the modern society today focus a lot on naked women's skin, like pretty girls showing off a lot of cleavage, showing off a lot of skin in general, and portraying them as sexy persons, and they get a lot of attention for it from the males, and the sight on women in general that they have to be sexy, that they have to be that to get approval from males. That maybe that can be one reason. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not the entirely 100% equality between men and females today. So
No.
we often seek males' approval, even today.
Well, yeah, of course. And it has to be said that the gaming industry especially has been very colored by the fact that only boys and men used to be gamers. So a lot of characters in games were, cartoonish in the way they were shaped. They had huge boobs and huge asses and tiny waists. Like Lara Croft started out as a very cartoonish kind of character.
And they fight in scale male bikinis.
Yes, for example. I mean, you don't have to go further than Soul Calibur to find a lot of these over-sexified costumes on female characters. But it's changing because, girls and women are gamers today too, and we're a big part of the market. So game developers are trying to reach out to us as well by creating characters that are more believable, that we can relate to in a manner, socially and psychologically.
Yeah. And not only the gaming industry, also the comic industry, where all the strong women are like portrayed as sexy and with long legs.
In bathing suits.
Yes, in bathing suits.
In bathing suits, in like body paint almost. And it's quite. I mean, it is a fictional world. It is, so they can do what they want. But if they want to attract female customers, they have to be more realistic.
Yes, of course. But also, I'm going to say that this goes for male characters as well. Yes. A lot of them are over-sexified, are almost naked, a lot of bare chests going on. So, of course, they're being objectified in the same manner. So I'm not saying that this is only a women thing.
No.
Because it happens to boys a lot, and they have a lot of pressure on how their bodies are supposed to be too.
Yeah, like tiny hips and broad shoulders and a lot of
pecs and things going on.
Yeah, every muscle on their body has to, stick out at all times.
Yeah.
And so I'm just gonna make a little disclaimer. I don't really go for those kinds of guys in real life. I like skinny gamer dudes who are a little gangly. That's my thing. And you know, if you're so pale I can almost see through your skin, that's just a bonus. So I want to throw that out there because I don't expect guys to look like superheroes. I don't, and I really hope that a lot of guys out there also don't expect women to look like the women
from
in games. Yeah, exactly. So this is the same thing. I mean, a lot of male gender bends are also over-sexified. Not just women aren't just doing it; men are doing it too. So it's a very equal problem. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I don't want it to seem like we're just zeroing in on the women and like this.
But it's like the picture of the guy cosplaying some person from League of Legends is like, why do you have a jacket on that just goes here and then open chest and stomach? It's like, why did you do that? Why? Is it because you want people to look on your stomach? He could have worn a tank top underneath. But kind of the tattoo thing makes it cool. Maybe he just wanted to show that off and make it more punk-ish. I don't know. But it's like, it makes me like, do you want girls to be like, oh my god, or did you do it just because it was cool?
Oh, I want to touch your six-pack. Can I touch it?
Well, and I'm sure there are some girls out there who are like, drool, swoon, oh, look at his stomach. But
I
there are
know
also,
there are.
yes, of course there are. And then there are those who look at the tattoo like Annabella did and like, oh, I get it. He wanted to show off that tattoo thingy. I guess he made a choice there aesthetically.
Yeah.
So it comes in all different shapes and sizes and intentions. Is that your dog snoring, Annabella?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we went to the dog park today, so he's like really tired. I had to carry him home.
Mm. Yeah. So I guess I don't know if we've answered JC's question, because she thought it would be an interesting thing to discuss, and it certainly has been. And she was very careful when she designed her Fenrisa cosplay to not make it too sexy, and try to keep it in line with the personality of the character. Although she put the sexy stockings in, which I thought.
But
was
you
a
have
fun
to
touch.
because it's kind of his personality, so it fits. But if Fenris was this bookworm character who you couldn't romance at all, I guess it wouldn't be the stocking thing.
Yeah, I mean, let's say if you wanted to genderbend Anders from Dragon Age 2, you would not put lacy stockings on that guy because he's so clearly not the lacy stocking.
No,
kind of
not
guy.
even a breastplate like
No.
that at all. You would do like a full cover up and just be like, nope.
No. So, yeah, and that just goes back to the things we said about making choices based on the character you're cosplaying and their personality.
Yes.
So I think JC did a good job there.
Yeah, and I think that you should have a clear meaning about your choice of cosplay, of how you're going to sexify it. If you have clear thought behind it, then sure, stand for it and do it, of course. But if your goal is to portray a character with the opposite gender, please don't.
Yeah.
But it's like there's one picture that I did see of like a cosplay meme. There's a picture of a girl doing Iron Man really well, like with the full body armor, only her own, head and face and hair. But she has like this Iron Man suit on, and it says, "This is cosplay." And then under it, it's the picture of, I think it's Jessica Nigri. I'm not really sure, but it's like she's just wearing like a bikini and a really, really short skirt and like things on. Yeah, with hands on. What's it called?
Gloves?
Yeah, gloves. Like Iron Man gloves, and it just says, "This is not." And then there's like, "Yes, it is. She's just an Ironette."
Yeah.
So she wasn't portraying Iron Man at all. It's actually a real costume from the movie, but that would to me be like a too sexy Iron Man, but still.
Yeah, but yeah, of course, for me, it wouldn't be necessarily an Iron Man genderbend, but she's an Ironette, that's clear.
Yeah.
But I've also seen a meme about like geek shaming. Like there's this girl and a guy thinks she's cosplaying the Joker, like a steampunk Joker-ish thing, and then so he's shaming her like you're just trying too hard, blah 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 blah, and then he gets schooled by this other geek girl like, dude, she's not the Joker at all. This is a character from the
Yeah.
get your grip before do your research before you geek shame someone. And I think it's a little bit about the same thing. Because people are going to judge you no matter what you wear and no matter what you do, if you're over sexified or not. That's just how it is. Especially people outside the cosplay community will have a tendency to judge you.
Especially them.
Yes. Whereas inside the community itself, it's not that judgmental. It's, free for all. Everyone's allowed to do what they want and to be a part of it because it's for fun, and we all want people to enjoy the hobby.
Yeah, most of the time at least.
Most of the time, at least, yes. At least for me, it is very open. I don't think I've ever seen a cosplay that offended me, where I thought, "Oh my God, this is just way too far. This is bad," or whatever. That I've never had that happen to me, because I'm
No.
very open-minded about it.
Yeah, well, then you're lucky.
Yeah.
I've met other people who's not that open-minded.
Mm.
Well, of
Well,
course you will meet people like that anywhere you go. The only thing you have to do then is just
Ignore it.
ignore it and do not in any way do it yourself, because then you know how awful it feels if people are doing it towards you or towards someone you know.
Well, yeah, for sure. Now, I'm not saying that I haven't been, discriminated against, but I myself have not been offended by anyone else's cosplay. Um,
Me
but
neither, really.
I have been discriminated against. I mean, just now on YouTube, someone sent me a message, and what they said was, "Wow, you're a really sexy lady." And I've never met this person before. I don't know who this guy is, and he feels it's okay to send me a message to a complete stranger, just saying you're a sexy lady. What the fuck? Get a grip, dude. If you want to talk to me, then at least talk to me like I'm a person.
No.
My self-worth is not tied up in my appearance. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I'm not only a girl, you know.
I'm not tits and ass and a pretty face. I'm
Yeah.
not. And so that just when people do that, it kind of upsets me, and I think that's why it sometimes upsets people when they see gender bends that are overly sexified. They feel like it's kind of like you're asking people to objectify you in a way, or objectify the character. So I can understand how people take it badly.
Yes.
Yeah,
I-
or
I do-
it might
Sorry.
be a challenge to like open your eyes a bit more. To like, look, I'm cosplaying a character. I'm portraying it in my own sexy way. Try to discriminate me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I dare you.
Yeah.
And if that's the thought behind it, that's very cool. But then again, it also goes back to what's your intent. Did you do this on purpose? Did you think it through? Do you have a reason for doing
Yeah.
what you're doing, or do you just want to be sexy?
I think you just need to, own your costume and own the character and be sure about what you're doing. And if someone kind of discriminates you or say stuff to you, you should just be, ready for it to come. Not really, but you have to think about what you're doing and kind of take the consequences without
Because the world is cruel.
Yes, it is.
It's not all pixie dust.
Definitely. That's just one person, though.
But
Can't be everywhere.
if I were supposed to, genderbend a character, I would never genderbend some character I didn't love and didn't like.
That's true.
And if I'm doing that, I would, do as you said earlier, do it as screen accurate as possible, only, for my body and what's appropriate for the character.
Yeah, and this brings us on to our next and also, I think, last subject on this main topic, and that is, if we were to gender bend cosplay, which character would we want to gender bend? Do anyone of you want to start?
Well, I did kind of post this on my Facebook page a few days ago, and I kind of want to do Brian Fury from Tekken, because he is just my favorite Tekken character ever.
Why is that? Why do you like him so much?
Because he's crazy, I guess. He's like, whoa, doing that shit, and I just own it when I play him. That's
very cool.
I don't know, I just fell in love with that character a long time ago. The only problem is he's really, really full of muscles, and he's kind of topless, and I'm not doing that,
No. You could wear. I suppose you could wear like a sports bra or something, or a tank top.
Yeah.
He has different costumes. In one of the games, he's wearing like this black T-shirt and this snake leather pants. So maybe I'll go for that.
Maybe that sounds cool.
Or I'll just do like a army kind of black T-shirt with turtleneck and stuff, because that kind of looks buffy.
Yeah.
It does. Buffed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been thinking a lot about this, and I've come to the conclusion that there are a lot of characters I would like to gender bend. But on top of my list, I think is Varric from Dragon Age 2 and Dragon
Yes.
Age Inquisition. I think that would be such a fun gender bend, and could make his crossbow and everything, and so it could be Varica and Bianca or something
Or
like
maybe
that.
you should have not Bianca, but you need like a boy version of
Bernard,
Bianca.
Varica and Bernard, or Benjamin, something like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, I really
Or,
wanna.
or
I yeah,
Barack.
yeah, Barack maybe. Say hello to my little friend Barack Obama. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also I think it would be cool to do a female Geralt of Rivia, so like a Geraldine or something of Rivia,
Yeah.
the Witcher, for you who don't know that. And also, I think I would like to do a female Link from Legend of Zelda. I think that would be cool. So those are my top 3 gender bends that I would really like to do one day.
Yeah. Yeah. Most of mine are elves as well. Yeah, there's something about elves. I don't know.
Yeah,
Well,
They're
no, I like them.
magical.
Yeah. I would love to do maybe a female version of oh
Elrond?
yeah, maybe, but I forgot his name in in English. Skarpeg.
Oh, Cutter from ElfQuest.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yes, it's very cool. And of course, I would definitely want to do a female version of Legolas. Maybe like angle him towards Tauriel, perhaps.
Yeah,
Like
that
a
could work.
blonde Tauriel or something.
Yeah.
Legolina.
Or Legolassi.
Yeah, that could work too.
Legolasia.
Yeah, Legolassi. Cool. And I would do. Well, I was just thinking, yeah, a female Link, as you said.
Yeah, he's very cute.
Yes, I've also thought about female Link and Varric. Because I would love to see like a female Varric. The only thing is like chest hair. How are you supposed to, do that? Just
I don't
extreme
think I would-
cleavage.
I don't think I would do the chest hair, but I think I would just do like a bandage style bra thing across the chest, or at least tape my boobs, just so they wouldn't pop out and say hello, something like that. But yeah, I think that would be very fun. Gosh, there are so many cool male characters that you could do female versions of. I think also Vincent Valentine from Final Fantasy, like a female version of that one would be very cool.
There's a lot of characters I would like to do because it's kind of. I think that maybe gender bends are a little bit easier to do than crossplay because you can just shape the character for your own body and not build on your body or use like corset for your boobs or whatever.
Yeah, no, but crossplays and gender bends have their own different challenges. For a crossplay, you have to alter your body to fit the costume, but you don't really have to change the costume that much. But for a gender bend, you have to kind of redesign parts of the cosplay to fit a female anatomy. So, yeah, I mean, they both have their pros and cons, I suppose.
But what do you think is like the most important thing to think about if you're going to do a gender bend?
Well, for me, as I said earlier, the most important thing when you're gender bending would be to keep the color schemes and the general design of the character, the hair and the costume, to keep that as close to the original as possible, because if you change it up too much, people won't understand who you're trying to cosplay. Because it'll be too far from the original, and they'll be like, who are you? So I think that's kind of against its purpose, because then you're not really cosplaying that character anymore. So you should be very detail oriented and take care to be as close to the original as you possibly can.
I agree on the detail thing because it's like jewelry or scars or accessories that are similar would help.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so too.
And you should have a definitely clear thought behind your actions.
Yes, I mean you should choose consciously, not just choose something because oh that would be super cool. Just think about it. Why would it be cool, and how will other people perceive it? Will they understand the intent behind your choice, for example?
For example, for me today, the only thing that kind of gives me away is that I'm a Gryffindor and I have this scar in my forehead. Because of my glasses and the hair, I kind of look like Moaning Myrtle more than Harry Potter. So if I were supposed to do this for a convention, I would buy some round glasses.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. But beyond that, I think people would understand it because the scar kind of gives it away.
Yeah, I know, because of the scar. It's
Yeah.
like, who are you? Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, for sure. It's just like, for Fenris, the things that give him away are the tattoos and the color of his hair. But because, but a closet cosplay can still be done with a black t-shirt and a pair of pants. People will still understand that the thought behind it is Fenris from Dragon Age if they know the game.
It's like if you do like just a casual version of your character. It's kind of the same thing.
Like a closet cosplay, because certain key details will always give away which character you are. So try to find that unique quality about a character that tells people this is who you're cosplaying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's a good rule for any kind of cosplay, really.
Yeah, it is. It's
Right.
like if you're doing, Harry Potter in the world of The Walking Dead, you still would have to have the scar and the glasses and maybe the tie.
Yeah.
And you can zombify the rest.
Yeah, exactly. It's like zombie Ariel, keep the hair, zombify the rest.
Yeah.
And maybe one, her dress or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can see that we have like 9 minutes left of the episode. And I think that we've pretty much covered the most important topics, and I think we've had a really nice discussion about it. So I think we'll move on to our last segment, which is geekery. Have we watched, played, or read anything interesting this week?
I know that Aniasia has just watched something interesting.
Yeah, I'm quite addicted to watching Downtown Abbey. It's so relaxing and it's interesting and it's just enough bit of drama. It's not too much and it's so pretty dresses and so fine gentlemen and
A fine-ass gentleman!
yes, I just love the whole atmosphere of the show.
Yeah. No, I love a good costume drama too. So
Yeah.
It's like, and it's horses too, I guess.
You don't see much horses, but some.
Yeah.
But
But there is a dog.
yeah, there's a dog
named Isis that
Yeah.
that belongs to his lordship, Lord Grantham.
Yes, and yeah, well, yesterday I played World of Warcraft for the first time in like months.
Mhm.
Because
Did you
I
have
just
fun?
like, yeah, sure.
Sure.
There's a new patch upcoming soon that will give you flying in Draenor.
Mhm.
And well, I'm not sure what we're going to do with flying now this late in the game because many people have done everything you need to do. So all you need flying for is like to see things from another perspective or hover over your garrison or something.
Right.
So
So a little bit too little, too late.
yes.
I get it. No. Well, I had to wipe my computer because nothing was working properly on it and reinstall everything. So I've reinstalled all my games and all my apps, and I also got Adobe Creative Cloud. this week. So now I have access to both Adobe Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator, Lightroom, and Preview, or Premiere, or whatever. Yeah, Premiere. So I have all the Adobe applications on my machine now, and it's awesome. So I've been toying around with editing photos in Lightroom from Toricon.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen your death.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, it's nice.
I worked a little bit on
That
them
sounds
because
so ominous. I've seen your death.
yes, I've seen your death.
And Chris was like, yeah, thank you.
Yes, thanks. Tomorrow would be good for me. Right now, actually, would be good for me. No, so yeah, that was pretty fun because Lightroom is so different from Photoshop, and it takes a little while to get used to, but once you do, it's so easy to amp up certain colors or make certain other colors go away and fix contrasts and everything, so I'm really loving it. And I have plans to start playing The Witcher again because I need to start over.
Yeah.
Oh well, I don't think that you're like boo. You're like more like a little bit happy about it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I should be happy or sad. Yeah, I get to do it all over again, or oh no, I have to do it all over again.
It's kind of mixed, I guess.
Yeah, it's bittersweet. But at least I have a lot of hours of gaming ahead of me, so that'll be good.
I have been extremely busy, as I said earlier today. I went to see one of my favorite bands at all time. And it was
Figment?
awesome. Oh yes, I love them so much. It's like this kind of goth, sci-fi,
It's so atmospheric.
kind of music, and I really love it.
But the last record, I have to say, is amazing.
It is, and what's amazing about it is that they sound exactly the same. In their last album before that, yeah, it's from the 90s, so
Yeah,
they've
it's
been
a
quite
long time since they released anything.
Yes,
And it's impressive.
it still sounds the same, so I think it's amazing. And the guy, he's 44 years old. He took off his shirt, and I was like, "You're 44? What? No, don't be that at all."
Damn.
That's a stand-in. No, but they were amazing, and I've also been ghost hunting this week.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, because
Where have you been? Or can't you say?
oh yeah, no, I've been on some place called Mjøndalen Gjestgiveri, which is some sort of like this food place, bar, and hotel-ish thing. They supposedly have 2 ghosts walking about there. And
Did you experience anything strange while you were there?
well, I'm one of those lucky bastards who never experience anything. So when I'm around, nothing happens. But
Aw.
yeah, we had some footsteps going on, and we had some weird stuff happening to some of our equipment. So it would be really fun to, watch through everything, and that takes time, believe me. Today I've probably gone through 5 hours of
Material.
material. Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, that's a lot. But that's like a thing that happens a lot to you guys, that your technical equipment just suddenly dies even though they have full batteries and things like that.
Yeah, it sometimes happens, and sometimes the batteries just magically comes back, which
Like recharge.
yeah, it's not really supposed to happen, but it happens. And sometimes when we have like journalists and media people with us, their equipment malfunctions too, and they're like, this never ever happens anywhere else. But yeah, it kind of happens.
Yeah, interesting. It's very interesting. Ooh, spooky. No. So yeah, if anyone wants to know what Annabella is talking about, you can go to Norwegian Ghost Hunters on Facebook and check that out, because she's an official member of that team, and they go ghost hunting all over Norway, or at least down south.
Yeah, we've been as far north as Bodø.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
we
so
do travel.
you do travel.
We do.
So that's very cool. Yeah, so that's what we've been up to, and I can see that we are running out of time. So before we say goodbye to our faithful viewers, we can tell you that next Sunday will be Gentlemen's Night at the CosCast. And that does sound kind of dirty, but I assure you it's not. Not if they want to, at least. Or not if they can. I'm just joking. I'm serious. Okay. No. Because we have noticed that we have an abundance of female guests on, and there are a few, or actually quite a lot of male cosplayers in Norway, and we want to get to know them better, and we want you, the viewers, to get to know them better. So next Sunday we will be hosting a show with creative obsessive disorder and the Fuzzy
Obsessive
Teddy
Obsessive
Inn.
creative disorder.
Yes, obsessive creative disorder and the Fuzzy Teddy Inn. So we will be talking to them a little bit about how they got into cosplay and things like that. So join us next Sunday for a really interesting show with all new guests.
Yay!
Yeah. And I know that Annabella and Eniosia are a little bit excited because they have a fan club for obsessive creative disorder, or, well, close to it.
Yeah, we have been following his work, and I'm like, he's amazing.
Yeah, I even shared him on my page. One of his newest cosplay, the Lich King. It's so awesome.
It is so good. I got to see the sword.
Genderbend Lich King.
Wow.
Lich Queen.
Yes,
Lich
Lich
Queen.
Queen. Do it. No, yeah. So that'll be an interesting evening, and after that, I think we're having not next Sunday, but the Sunday after that. I think we're having Shakara cosplay on, and she's a Danish cosplayer, so that'll be interesting too.
She had a panel at KawaiiCon.
Yes,
today.
she did, and I think she was also part of the opening show at KawaiiCon this weekend.
I think so too. She also was a judge there, so.
Yes, so she was active. She did stuff.
And she was a competitor at the NCC.
NCC, yes, she did.
So she's done a lot. It's gonna
She
be
has done a lot of stuff. She's very active and very effective, I guess you could say. And I think she also works at Stoff og Stil, so she's got, the fuel to feed her obsession.
We should all cosplayers should work in some textile shop.
Yes, for sure. That employee discount. Ooh, baby. Oh yeah. And by the way, if you live in Oslo, Stoff og Stil will be opening their brand new store on Thursday, September 3rd, and they will have a grand opening party. So, and they have an event for it on Facebook. So try to find that if you're interested in going to the big reveal of the new store in Oslo.
And what I figured out today is that there's a place in Lillestrøm that's hosting a Viking fair
Oh
next
yeah.
weekend.
Cool. So check that out. I'll put links in the show notes. And that's pretty much all we have time for today. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your questions. And we hope to see you again next Sunday. So you can find us on Facebook on facebook.com/CosCast. You can find me on Instagram under Anita Pixie Dust. You can find Annabella Cosplay on Facebook under Annabella Cosplay.
You can find Morfar at
Yes.
Morfar, King of the Underworld on Facebook.
Yes, you can find her dog also. And Eniosia Cosplay is also on Facebook. Just search for Eniosia and you will find her. And that's all we have time for, folks. Thank you for watching. Bye!
Bye.